Hello guys, Tiffany here. I'm going to do some mail art to mail in that collaboration journal page that I posted yesterday. And what I'm going to be using is a 12 by 9 envelope. Okay? And so what I want you to do with that envelope is to take some scissors and to go right down one of the long sides, okay? And you're going to cut all the way down here and all the way across the bottom. So here and here. Alright, so you're just going to take your scissors down that seam, down the other seam. Then you're going to be able to lay it out like this. Okay, hopefully with the camera angle, yeah, you can see it because I can't really go out any further than this. Okay, so what I've done just for the sake of time is you want to go through and put some text paper. I used my Yoo-hoo glue stick, and you're wanting to put the Yoo-hoo glue stick down, put your text paper down, and just collage all over it, okay? Then the next step is to put the gesso. So with this, I put gesso over it and let it dry. So your envelope is looking like this now. Okay. The purpose of doing it this way is I like to add stitching. And I did this in my video in my class in Dallas. I like to be able to not have that limitations of having to not be able to stitch, not really be able to do the things that I wanted to. So I started cutting the envelopes open so they lay out straight, and then at the end we're going to go back and we're going to stitch up the edges so it makes a complete envelope again. So now it's just a personal preference of what kind of colors you want to use, how you want to do it. I don't really have any like preconceived ideas to how I want this to look. So I'm just going to kind of do my Neocolor IIs around. I just have the small pack of these Neocolor IIs, so I'm just kind of scribble around. And again, I think a lot of times because this is just an envelope, then it kind of lets us be free with it. Inside my ice tray, I have taken some of the Adirondack Tim Holtz colors and put in there just a little bit. And then I've also used some Dilutions in there as well. And so because those are water based, once they dry out, like I don't know if you can see, but it's got some different colors in there. All I have to do is activate this with some water, and then I can go in and start using the watercolor effect on that. Okay, so I'm going to put you guys in fast forward and we'll see how it turns out. Okay, I have that pretty good and dry now. And, gosh, my desk is a mess. I gotta clean this up at some point. Okay, so I'm gonna take a Donna Downey stencil. And it is called, well, I'm not sure what it's called. But I'm gonna take it and some pink Color Shine Heidi Swap. I'm just going to pop that down. Okay. 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 Alright. And now I'm going to dry this off. And what I already know is I'm going to take some of my Deco Arts Cobalt Teal, which by the way I love. I'll link that below. And I'm just going to go in here. I still think it needs a little something. And turning my envelope. That I had my little spot where my then I might go back with some Americana Deco Arts Margarita. It's one of my fave colors. And I keep this paint rag all the time right here with me. And I use it in several different ways. Let's see. Hopefully I'm not shaking y'all around too much. And so I just kind of eyeball that and see. I'm going to give it a quick dry. Okay, so now when I turn the envelope like this and I like fold it together, you can address it on whichever side you want. But I'm still not through with it. It is just mail art, but I want to make this extra special for my friend. And you see how this little edge right here didn't go all the way through? No problem. I'm going to show you how to fix that in just a moment. So I'm going to take and just a watercolor pencil. I'm going to address it. Flap's going to go like this. I'm probably going to address it somewhere right in here. So now I know a while ago we talked about the inky rag that I use. This is actually a stained tablecloth that I cut into pieces. And I just dab paint and so forth on it. So what I did was, out of that inky cloth, I cut out and freehanded me some little leaves out of these cool little things. And then I took my sewing machine and I sewed them on there. See right here? And I'm no seamstress, so don't look too closely. I like the little rough edges there. So how I do that is I take and I tack my leaf on with, which side do I want? I don't guess it really matters. With a little bit of my glue stick. And then I decide where I want it. That way it kind of tacks it on there. So when I get to the sewing machine, I'm not very good at sewing, so I don't need to make it any more complicated than what it is. And apparently I'm mashing a little bit too hard on that. And so maybe I'll do it like this, kind of layer it too right there. So here we are. We have all of our little leaves stitched up, and everything is looking nicely. What I would do now is you can either, there's options that I could put here to be able to address it. But I think I'm just going to go with writing it directly onto this envelope. And now I'm going to, I told you earlier, oh Lord, I hope I haven't lost it. But I told you earlier not to worry about the little edges here. And the reason I told you that is because we're going to sew around it. Alright, so my sewing machine would not cooperate with me and I broke a needle. So what I did was I went around with the ribbon like I said, but instead of sewing it, I just stapled it. Okay, so I glued the ribbon like I did with these. I tacked it down with some glue, so I'm feeling very confident that it'll stay. So I hope that Shanna loves her envelope, and I hope that she can incorporate my envelope in other projects of hers. I found one of the girls actually in the retreat had done a Happy Meal swap with me before. So she still had her envelope, and she actually showed me a journal page that she did utilizing the envelope that I had sent her. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial day, and I hope that you can use some of the techniques and processes that I put into play in